Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, we're going to be showing you the Supreme Arena defenses I have planned for this week. And I will also remember to give you like a code that you can copy and paste to just copy the teams down. I'll try to remember to do that for my future videos. Okay, now I want to mention that at the end of last week, I did some changing of my team positioning. It was kind of inspired by a rank 2 player of our district, Shen, who he was running a really strong Tasi team with Maulers, and he was doing really well with it. And I've kind of made one like that, not exactly the same because I can't use Reinier in that team. I have Reinier in another team. But anyway, after making the changes to my team lineup, as you can see here, my defenses ended up doing really well. Like, look at this. We got 2 wins from Julie, then Monarch, Wooster, who's even a top ranking player for my guild, Tron Wandler. This was an attack that we had to do for our daily quest. And then finally, they were able to break through my defense. However, I mean, that these are kind of strong people and I was fine with it at that point. So this was good. Basically, I want to now show you the defenses. I've set them up for this week and what I'm planning to run. So this was the team. This Tasi team ended up doing really well for me with the resonating spell on Tasi. Now, the thing is, Thorin is not the optimal choice here. It's better for you to run Reinier in front of Tasi to ramp her up even more. She has more solo potential. However, this was like my best option because I'm using Reinier with my Odie team. And I feel like it's more important to have Reinier on the Odie team, buffing him up. But basically, if I had more than one Reinier, I'd be running him in this team as well. And now for the other heroes, it's just literally any tanky Mauler hero that's going to stall for you as much as possible. Kruger does great on stalling, also with the Mauler buff style. Lumont is going to be knocking up enemies, and then Entendre is going to make Lumont tankier. But basically, it's my leftover Mauler heroes to get the Mauler faction tile, and Tasi is going to be on it with the Resonating Spell, because at the end, just Tasi with Resonating Spell can clean up an entire enemy team. And so it's kind of like a low investment team that just can be carried by your Tasi. And if you had Tasi, for example, plus 15 exclusive equipment or maybe even a Paragon Ascension, then she can be even crazier here. But I was getting a lot of wins, as you guys saw, even with this Supreme plus Tasi and this full like almost Supreme plus lineup. Other than Thorin, which his Paragon Ascension doesn't really matter. So this is a great team that you guys can try if you have Tasi. If you don't have Tasi, then this team concept is not going to work because you need like a hyper carry in order to get a chance of winning. I can come up with some other teams maybe later on at the end of the video. Okay, for the team number 2. So team number 2, this is my weakest team actually, and it is going to be my Mauler hybrid Phraesto team with Mikola to try and control the on arena with the Verdant spell. So here we have Shakira on the buff tile, Coco on the buff tile. They're both going to be quite protected. Phraesto will not be dying anytime soon, and then you have Mikola. Mikola is like the hero which could die, however there's not really anything you can do about it. Maybe you could try to swap around the placement here, but I think it's more value having Coco teleported into the enemy team and also giving the charm value to the main Phraesto, so he's tankier. Because I've talked about this before, but basically Coco deals an attack that will stun enemies if there are enemies on adjacent tiles. And so if Coco is right in the face of the enemies, they're going to obviously be heroes on adjacent tiles and she's going to stun them. Shakira and then Scarlita as a damage kill threat. Another great hero you could run, Taylene. If you don't have Scarlita, you could run Taylene here. I think it would do pretty well in this team. And you could again put her behind in the corner. Or you could even run Vala, for example. Vala, I guess worst case you could even run Sylvina, basically some other damage threat, because the major issue with this team is it lacks kill potential. Like Shakir is mainly your only damage source, and I know we're going to have a lot of buffs and he's going to get value from that from his Lupine Zora, but that's why I needed Scarlita here to have another kill threat. This is my weakest team. It can win, but I'm not putting like maybe a lot of hope into it. But I actually have more hope in the Tasi team as compared to this one. But this one does have potential. If you had like Lenya or something, having Lenya and Shakira on the buff tiles, that would be great. But my Lenya is just not very good right now. She is supreme, but I just don't think she's as good as, for example, me running Scarlita here, because my Scarlita is also like over-invested. But yeah, I mean, you could even try something like Damien rather than Scarlita and make it even more stall heavy. I don't know, maybe it would work. Maybe Shakir can just work down all the enemies. But yeah, there are different options you can try, but basically this is the core formation. And it did do decently for me last week. Not amazing. It was usually the team that was losing, but now the thing is, all the opponents are becoming really strong as well. And so, yeah, I'm fine. Overall, I think it's a fine team. This is one of my favorite teams. So basically, you might be thinking, well, what happened to your Odie team? Because normally Odie with Resonating Spell is amazing, and that is usually what you want to run. However, if you run Tasi as a solo carry, you need to have her with Resonating Spell. It doesn't work with any other artifact, because the Resonating Spell gives her that attack buff each time she casts ultimate, and then and it also charges up her energy faster to cast the first ultimate. So this will make her overall have the kill potential. Without it, it just is not a good idea, in my opinion. But the Valor Shield spell is fine for Odie. Honestly, also in some ways, this is even like in some ways better for Odie because it gives him a shield. Like, he's difficult to kill at the beginning of the match, and yeah, he has a haste buff that increases his attack speed and skill casting frequency. So Resonating Spell, of course, would be optimal here as well, but this is more than enough, and like it would make your Brutus tankier in the front with the Valor Shield spell. And so yeah, I mean, I like to run Valor Shield spell, I like to run Resonating, and Verdant spell. Those are my favorite 3 artifacts to run this season, and we're running all of them. Yeah, because frontline, I've talked about it before, the problem is, on defense, you can't guarantee you're going to trigger that, because if the opponent brings Mauler buff tiles of their own, they're going to teleport first because of the attacker's advantage, and then you may not trigger the frontline spell. So this is my third team, and basically, as you can see, we're running 3 Mauler tile teams, and this is the season where you want to do that, because Maulers are at their peak. And in the next season, or like, yeah, Chains of Eternity, the Mauler buff tiles are not going to be nearly as strong as in this season. But yeah. So, which heroes are we not using? Take a look. Key heroes that could be used in teams. We're not using Damien, Iron heroes. Like I mentioned, you can run an Iron team. However, I did try that actually because I was kind of desperate. Basically, my Floorball Scarlita Stroll team is just not working anymore because I don't know what it is, but Scarlita just doesn't have kill threat anymore. I think it might be related to all the charms and all of the, I don't know, stats from faction tiles and all of that stuff, but basically Scarlita is not having the kill threat. It might also be because I don't have the optimal charms onto Scarlita. I have like her charms for Ravage Realm. I haven't gotten the execution charms, which may make her better. But I don't know. Basically, Scarlita is kind of falling off in terms of her her kill threat, as well as allowing your team to have a good chance of winning. And so, but I am running her here. Yeah, okay, so the other heroes which I'm not using, which maybe I would want to fit in, it is basically just Talene. But I can't really fit Talene into any of these teams. In this team, like, technically you could go for Talene rather than Thorn, but Thorn is just kind of powering up or protecting your hyper carry. And this team, Odie team, I think is really good. Reinier and Lily May, there's no room for really Talene here. And the other heroes, Sonya, I'm not a fan, honestly, of Sonya in PvP because she's too easy to kill. Maybe in the next season she will have some use, depending on like the faction tiles and other things. Arden this season is too weak in my opinion, so I just don't want to run him. Arden, Iron type teams, because like I mentioned, I did try it, but it was doing even worse than the Scarlita Stroll team. Like, I did the full nuking team, Iron, Arden, I tried Iron, Arden, Haywin, Damien, like protect more like Stroll oriented team, and then I tried with Caroline and Arden together. Both of them were just not doing enough, because the enemy with the Maulers are just going to destroy you, no matter whichever combo you run, and so it isn't worth it. Yeah, but Damien is a hero I would like to run, even Haywin, Floorball, I'm not really a big fan of her. It was just kind of because she fit that comp, being the third Wilder hero, the Scarlita Stroll comp. Otherwise, I don't think Floorball is really that good for PvP. It's really the heroes which are good are Damien, potentially Haywin, and this season, unfortunately, Iron and Carolina Arden are just not really too usable. And then there's Vala, Talene. Talene is really one of the key ones you would want to try to incorporate, but yeah, unfortunately not. Like in this team, you know, you could think, oh, you could go for the Hypogean Celestial team and forget about the Maulers, but it's just not even as good from my experience, because I think the Hypogean Celestial team, it needs a lot of things. Like, it would need Damien, it would need Lily May on it as well, and then it can actually have a win threat, kill threat, but then my other teams become weaker. Like, for example, this team, if we remove Lily May from it and only have Odie as your key carry damage dealer, then it loses its effectiveness. But definitely that's another thing you could try. Like, I mean, you could just try to go for Hypogean Celestial and 2 Maulers. However, kind of the reason I went for this is I can put together 2 strong Mauler teams, like this one, Brutus Smokey Odie combo, and then the Coco Shakir Mikola combo. These are both really strong. And then for the third team, you just have your leftover Maulers to give Tasi the buff, because I found that even if, for example, I ran Shakira, I ran my key Mauler Shakir, Coco, Mikola into this Tasi team, it didn't really increase her chance of winning. It all comes down to Tasi in the end. Is she able to solo or not? It comes down to your investment of your Tasi. All the other heroes just basically stall for you. They don't actually increase the chance of you winning. So anyway, guys, hopefully this was helpful. Good luck getting basically maintaining a good rank or ranking up in this almost final week of Supreme Arena. Like, actually next week will be the final week, or like final half week actually, before we enter the new season. But this is one of the final weeks we have. So anyway, guys, if you have any other teams that you have an idea or like you are planning to run, you can share them in the comment section. You can even share them by ID if you want to. And you know what, let's just go ahead and save this team formation, and let us go ahead and create the ID right now, so you have it right here. But I'll be displaying it hopefully for the whole video, like in a corner as well. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That's gonna be it for this one. Good luck this week, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.